Even this shit crazy.
Hey, welcome back to Reality with me, Dashia D. So, y'all, I decided to combine two episodes of Love and Marriage Huntsville, honestly, because I want to say the third episode just wasn't that interesting to me. So I figured I'm going to just watch the next one and then we'll talk about it all combined, right? At the beginning of episode 4, Letitia and Marceau hold this meeting to propose this event that is highlighting Black businesses, Black business owners, and things like that. And the group seemed to really like it. Where it kind of took a turn, though, is where Melanie was like, "So, what's your budget like? What is it that you're looking to pay us to be there?" And they were like, "We just thought y'all would do it for free, so that it would be a free event." But Mel was like, "Run me my money," and I don't know if that's gonna happen. I don't think that's gonna happen, to be quite honest with you. Not if they want it to be a free event. And they started shading her like, she's getting these gigs and she's doing all these things, and now, she thinks that she deserves to be paid. And hey, closed mouths don't get fed. Because how do we not know that if they pay Mel, maybe they'll be willing to pay the others, or at least the conversation will come up. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, who knows? She's elevating. Can't be mad at her for that. So Stormy and Courtney have this business called Canvas for Natural Hair Care. And I didn't actually know much about Stormy. I feel like we're getting a little more of who she is and her marriage and her business. But she owns this hair care line called Canvas for Natural Hair. And she's talking about the difficulties when working with family in your business. And one of her cousins, I believe, can't think of his name at the moment, Junior, he is kind of slacking off in their eyes. And so they want to have this heart-to-heart conversation with him. Like, listen, when we started this was fun. Everybody was super driven and on point. And now you kind of you're lackadaisical. And he was like, well, y'all are so hard on me. And her husband, Courtney, was like, well, you're family. I expect more out of you. And so really, I want to ask y'all, like, is it ever a good idea to mix family and business? I would think sometimes it can work, but if y'all don't have the same work ethic and they don't have the same vision as you, you can't expect them to work harder than you or just as hard as you. But that's just me. Because sometimes family and business can get a little murky. I mean, shoot, even if you have a family member who's providing a service, sometimes the family member, may feel like, well, what's the family discount? Or because you are family, that person providing the service may not show the same level of professionalism because, oh, you just my little cousin. Oh, you just my aunt. You know what I mean? That they would show everyone else. I don't know. Sometimes family and business just doesn't mesh well, depending on personalities and work ethic, professionalism, all of that. So by the end of the conversation, they ended up letting him go, which it seems like that was the best thing for their relationship, for them to salvage the relationship. But they seem like they'll be fine. So I mean, good for them, because that's a part of when you're trying to maintain a healthy relationship with whoever. You have to have hard conversations. That's life. So it happens. Melanie and Martell, I feel like they go back and forth on whether or not they're cool with each other and the whole co-parenting situation. So Mel is hosting this skate party for their two daughters whose birthdays are close or like a week apart. And Martell claims that their oldest daughter, Mariah, has been emailing him like, Dad, please come to my birthday. I really wish you would be there. And so he decides, all right, I'm going to show up. Even though Mel didn't invite me, I'm going to show up because I want to celebrate my kids on their birthday. So he shows up, and the minute he shows up, Mel is just on him like white on rice. She's like, let's talk outside, brother. Let's talk outside. They go outside. They get to arguing, going back and forth. Both their moms coming out to try to help, but all that does is add fuel to the fire. And Melanie was like, listen, I planned this for my daughters. You can have them later today, but this is a party that I'm throwing. If you want to throw a party for them, by all means, throw a party for them, but I don't want you here. I really want to know from y'all, like, put in the comments, any of you have to co-parent? And if so, how do y'all work out birthdays, holidays, things like that? Because as a kid who was going between my mama and my daddy, I never had to split my birthday because, I mean, my mama was planning my birthday parties like Mel. And so that's what I was doing. But for holidays, I would have to split time in the middle of the day. So in the morning, I'm with my mama's side. In the evening, I'm with my dad's side. And to be honest, I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but it was just life. Like, that's just what it is. And I felt like that worked for them. If it was up to me, I probably would have just stayed with my mama's side of the family and just said hey to my dad's side. Like, just drop in for like an hour. Or, yeah, an hour. Let's be real. An hour to be like, hey, show face, and then peace out. You know what I mean? But hey, he did try to go to Marcel for advice on how to deal with it. But Marcel was like, I'm not in that situation. So you might want to go to Maurice because, you know, he has an ex-wife and they share a child, and having to do that co-parenting situation, which shout out to all of the parents who are trying to find their footing when it comes to making sure that both parents are involved in their child's life, because that has to be rough to be going through a nasty breakup or divorce in the midst of trying to co-parent and not be disparaging against the other parent in front of your kids. I can't even imagine, but shout out to y'all. But yeah, that was really it of Love and Marriage Huntsville, these last 2 episodes. This season has kind of been dragging for me, to be honest. I don't know. It's been dragging. In other news, Real Housewives of Atlanta, the Peaches are back in action. The premiere came out last night, and I was there live. Usually I watch it later on, but I'm like, no, that trailer was too good. It was too good. I need to tune in as soon as it's playing. So, opening scene. Sheree and Martell. Martell comes over to give us some thirst traps, I guess. Like, sir, why exactly do you need to change clothes in front of the camera? We got to see all your boxers, your print, everything. I felt like it just was, I don't know. It was interesting to me. I don't really feel like their relationship it doesn't come off as being very genuine. It seems very physical, and they're both attractive people, so I can understand that. It just seems very physical, and it's about sex. It just seemed like a lot of sexual tension, but it doesn't seem as if they have a true liking of each other as people. And also, I feel like this is just a stunt to have a storyline, because in my opinion, I think Sheree she seems like a cool person, but she doesn't really bring much to the show. She doesn't really have a lot going on. I mean, last season she had She by Sheree, so we got to see her journey to get that off the ground. And a few seasons ago, we got to see her finally build her house. But other than that, I don't feel like she ever really has too much going on. So maybe this is just something to keep it spicy, keep it interesting. I feel like he would be benefiting more from this than her, though, because we know Sheree. I think there are more people who know of Sheree than know or care about Martell. No shade, but Just saying. But moving on. We got to see Marlo and her nephew sons go to a life coach, which I think is really good for them, actually. I'd like to see Marlo do some therapy just for herself beyond parenting. Because I've noticed that each time, at least when we've seen her on camera, when she goes to therapy, it's typically for parenting tips. And clearly, Marlo has shared, little tidbits that she has dealt with a lot in her childhood. And those childhood wounds are real. And they come out, right, as you're an adult and how you attach to people and all those things. Marlo can be a very mean person on camera. She has her nice moments, she has her sweet moments, but she can say some very foul things. And I feel like you can only dig deep enough to say things like that when you have it within you. So all I have to say, I like that she is normalizing therapy for her nephew sons. I'd like to see her go to therapy for herself beyond just being their Muntie. But other than that, I thought that was a great thing. We didn't get to see Drew this episode, which was interesting. We did see Ralph. He said they had a family emergency, but that was really it. I'm surprised that he wouldn't go with her for the family emergency. But if this is around the time that they were headed for divorce, that could have something to do with it. Who knows? I don't know. But I did miss seeing Drew this episode. Kenya, only thing we really got from Kenya was that she is possibly dating somebody new who also works in the restaurant industry that she met through Candy's friend Manietta. I don't even remember his name. I just know he's Italian. So she dipping her toe in the vanilla. Just try something new. I think we all just are rooting for Kenya to find that true, healthy love. Because so far, the dudes that we have seen her attached to, her and Sheree, but the dudes that we have seen Kenya be attached to, they didn't seem to reciprocate the energy and the love that she was, giving to them, especially Mark, which sucks because that's the one who she is attached to through a child and on paper, because their divorce process is lasting longer than the damn marriage itself. So I'm really hoping and rooting for Kenya to have a healthy love from whoever that may be. And as far as Sheree goes, I don't know that Sheree takes wanting to get married again seriously. I remember years ago when they took that trip to Africa, and I don't know what his role was, but he was like, "You won't get married again." And she was like, "Well, I don't believe that." But it's like, the people that you're choosing have not been great. One was a convict, and I'm not saying that people who have been to prison and got out don't deserve love, but let them get out first. Let them get out, get on their feet, and then see what they're talking about. Then see if they're truly serious. And now you with Martell, and Martell was just with his new child's mother and side chick. Like, it just, I don't know. I want her to have healthy love too, but I feel like she just goes for whoever that aren't even on her level. But anyway, so Sonya throws this big shindig for her husband Ross's 40th birthday. That's kind of where most of the action takes place. And at that party, Manietta tries to warn Sheree that her new boo is seeing other people, and Sheree is just like, "Girl, mind your business. I don't really care. Ain't nothing happening to me in front of me, so I'm gonna enjoy this while I can," kind of energy. And so that was what it was. Kenya even said, "Okay, he slid in my DMs. I didn't check it, so we didn't get to actually see a message because allegedly he deleted it." And then you have Sheree's friend Courtney, who addresses Candy about whether or not Candy was asking around if she was telling people they were friends. And that in itself, I felt like that was blown up way bigger than it needed to be. If you go watch Candy speak on it, she says that every year when they bring on friends to the show, all the girls do their research on the women that are coming to the show on social media. That's what that was. They heard Courtney was coming to the show. They were looking her up. They're like, oh, she knows this person. I know that person. And so called like, hey, you know this girl? And no one knew her. That was it. So for her to bring that to the party, to then argue, I felt like she just wanted 5 minutes, 10 minutes of fame. This, whatever. But I will say this. It's been a pattern. Why is it that every time Sheree brings a +1 to the show, they have conflict with someone immediately? I mean, immediately. Like the year she brought Marlo to the glamping trip that Phaedra planned. Marlo got into it with Kenya. Marlo started stuff with Candy and Portia. Another year, Nene hosted the all-white party. She brought Kim Zolciak, even though they know Kim Zolciak, she wasn't on the show at that time. She brought her. Kim and Kenya get into it. And now, right. And now, I forgot that girl. She brought the other girl, I can't think of her name, last season to the mountains, that mountain trip that Marlo planned. Her and Drew had an issue. And now here we have Courtney and Candy, and apparently it's gonna unravel even more. And I'm here for it all. I'm here for it. But I don't get it. Like, why is it every time you bring somebody to the show, they got an issue? Are they trying to secure a peach? Is that what it is? Are they trying to ensure that they come back as a friend to the show like Marlo did, and then eventually they're a cast member? Because I don't feel like that's the way to go. Marlo was causing drama from the first time she was a friend to the show, and she didn't get a peach until many years later. So I feel like just come on and be your authentic self. Stop trying to go after the unproblematic people. Because I don't understand the people that go after Candy. I'm not saying that she's perfect. No one is. But she seems pretty laid back for the most part. So I don't know why when people have drama with her, it makes zero sense to me. That's just like Marlo tries to make it seem as if Candy has nothing going on. The other ventures that she's gone into, they don't work out. But just a few days ago, she got nominated for a Tony and an Emmy. And if she wins, she'll be the first EGOT in a Real Housewives franchise. But hey, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So all in all, that was all of the reality TV that I caught up on this weekend. I did see Bad Boys Texas or whatever, but I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm about to unsubscribe from Zeus. I thought it would be interesting because Orlando Brown is on it and Raz B are on it, but it's just grown men fighting. I think I'm past the stage in life where I want to watch a reality show where everybody is trying to prove who can fight, who can beat this person ass, screaming where they from. I think I'm just past. I don't know. I just turned 28 last month. I think I'm just past it. I'm past it. I need more substance than that. So chime down below. Let me know what y'all thought about the episodes. Yeah, and any other reality shows that y'all are watching that you feel like I'm missing out on. All right. I have been Dashia D, and this is RealiTEA.